Hi, I'm Mai, and this is my life. This is my second YouTube video, so if you're new here, hello. If you're not, welcome back. Thank you for watching the first one. Today, I'm just gonna do my makeup and do a full deep dive Q&A about Accutane. I get so many questions every day about Accutane and my journey. This video is something that I wish I had before I started my Accutane journey because I just didn't see anyone go from point A to point B and then also break down kind of what it looks like as you go on. I'm also including all of the products that I've been using and just a ton of questions from you guys that you guys have asked me either in my comments on Instagram or TikTok or a combination of both. But I'm just gonna start by walking through my whole journey and from where we started versus now and how much we have left to go. So if you're interested in that, just keep on watching. Let's get to it. My mirror's over here. So Accutane or Accutane is a medicine that is prescribed by your doctor. It has to be prescribed by your doctor to help clear acne. I'm not going to speak about what it actually does scientifically because, to be honest, I have no idea. I know that it's a really harsh medicine and honestly a lot of doctors wait until it's a very last resort. If I were you, I would try other things before you go into Accutane. I tried everything under the sun, so I guess we'll start there. I got a lot of questions of what I did before I went on Accutane. I did clindamycin, tretinoin, spironolactone. I tried the hormonal balance. I do have an IUD. I have the Mirena IUD and I've had it for 3 years. I get a lot of questions about birth control as well. That's the one that I have in my body. My doctors think that that could be a reason as to why my acne got so bad. I'm 23 and I've struggled with acne since middle school, and so I've had acne for a while and it's always been kind of hormonal. My doctors thought that the IUD could be a reason for having more severe adult acne, but they're not totally sure. I got to a point where I was like, please, please, please just give me this medicine. I asked basically every dermatology appointment. I asked for Accutane from 7th grade all the way up until I guess 3 months ago because I saw what it did for my friends and I really wanted it for myself. And that's a side note. I'm not in any way promoting this medicine. I'm just trying to inform you guys. I've seen some people say that I've kind of encouraged them to start this Accutane journey. I want to really make sure you guys know that I'm not recommending this at all. And I'm not saying that this is for everyone. I'm just sharing my journey and sharing the things that I've learned along the way because I didn't have a video like this, and so I want to make sure, especially the young people watching or just anyone in general that's scared to take Accutane. It's scary. Like it's actually a really scary thing. It's not a light medicine. The side effects are severe, they're real, and people's body reacts so differently, and so I think it's really important to have solid information out there and just, you know, make sure that you're very aware going into it, what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't do, and kind of like how to take control of this medicine so that it doesn't control you. So I got a question, what are some things I wish I knew before I started? I wish that I knew that my skin was gonna get so much worse. I could never have taken this medicine as like a 7th grader or an 8th grader and going to high school and going to middle school because of the way that my personal skin reacted. I went from 0 milligrams before I started to 60. I know a lot of doctors kind of eased their way up. They needed to like put me on the medicine and they had to do it based on my height and weight. So I went straight into 60 milligrams, which I think caused my skin to just kind of freak out. Mentally, I was okay. Like I felt okay with it, but I'm also 23. I know how to handle my emotions. I know how to kind of like look at the bigger picture. If that same thing happened to me when I was younger, I would not be able to handle it as well. And I think that's a really big thing. If you're young thinking about taking Accutane, or if you're a mom thinking about giving it to your child, like weigh the pros and cons. Try things out first, but at the same time, I get how frustrating it is to have acne and to try everything and for people to say, oh, well, you should try this. I used to have people stop me. I remember once a worker who was working at construction on like a random street. I was walking by and he calls out and he's like, hey sister, because I live in Hawaii and everyone says sister and auntie and uncle, but hey sister, you should try rosemary soap for your acne. I was scarred for life. Like this random man, you know, they're all trying to help, but at the same time, it's so overwhelming. It's such a mental block. It's such a physical block. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. Like acne sucks. Acne sucks and you're valid for feeling it. I do this thing a lot where I always say like, oh, someone has it worse, someone has it worse. And that's always true. Someone's always gonna be, you know, in a shittier position than you're in, but at the same time, your feelings are valid. The way that you feel about your skin, crying over a pimple, whatever it is, this shit is not easy. And people with clear skin just don't really understand it, and so that can be really frustrating because people's opinions try to help, but they just add up and they just cause more frustration. So kind of walking through my personal Accutane journey and kind of what you can expect. So starting with what you can expect before getting the medicine. When you have a talk with your doctor, you basically start 1 month after that. You have the talk, you're like, okay, I'm going on Accutane. You have to get a pregnancy test, and then 1 month later you go get another pregnancy test, and then you actually get the medicine. So it is kind of a lengthy process. You also have to go and take a little quiz on this website that they give you. You take that every single month, and you only have a short window to actually pick up your medicine. So all of this is timed very precisely. For example, when I go into the doctor's office tomorrow, I'll have 5 days to pick up my medicine. So if you're traveling a lot, I would recommend probably not doing that, because if you don't pick up your medicine in that allocated window, you have to wait another month, which is really good information to know. I didn't know that. I was planning on traveling, and I kind of moved some things around to make sure that I was here for my appointments, because you have to be. Going into the birth control thing, I don't know a ton, and I'm not gonna spread misinformation, but what I do know is you have to be on some sort of form of birth control. You can declare abstinence, but I'm not sure like what the rules and regulation of that is. I don't know about that. I know that I already had an IUD, and so it wasn't really that big of a deal, but you have to be on 2 forms of birth control. Your doctor will explain it a lot better than I am. It's not that scary, but at the same time, if you've never taken birth control, if you are sexually active, you have a lot to think about, because going on Accutane and then also shocking your body with birth control is a lot to think about. Now I understand why my mom was like, you shouldn't do this at this age, and I'm actually really stoked that she didn't let me, but in the moment I was definitely pissed off. Definitely. Every single month you have to go and get a blood test, a pregnancy test, and then go to your doctor's. Tomorrow I'm doing a fasted blood and pregnancy test, and they just do like the pregnancy test with the blood, and I'm pretty sure after a couple months you don't have to do the blood work. If everything looks normal and your body's reacting fine, they don't make you keep going in. I'm gonna go in for my 3rd round of blood work tomorrow, so I've been getting it every single month. Camera died a little bit, but we're back in action. Okay, now let's talk about how I got to this state. I have makeup on, but you saw what I looked like when I started. So when I first went on Accutane, my skin was probably like a 6 out of 10 bad. Like it was bad, but it wasn't that, maybe a 5 out of 10. It was bad, but it wasn't like, I wasn't in my, you know, really bad breakout phase. When I went on Accutane, 10 days later, I started purging, and it was horrible. When I tell you, I've never had acne that severe, that painful, that inflamed. I'll put pictures. Thinking about it, looking back on the pictures, it makes me so sad that I had to go through that, but at the same time, like, if that's all the stuff that was hiding under my skin, then hallelujah that it came out. So that was basically from week 2 to about the end of month 2. That's when my purge happened. That's when all the pimples stayed. I didn't put anything else on my face at the time. A lot of people ask me if I used anything like a pimple patch. I did use 2 pimple patches on like 2 different ones, because they were so like about to erupt, and I like couldn't not put something on it, but I didn't want to touch it with my fingers. That's another thing. I'm really good at not popping pimples because I know that it makes it so much worse. So you have to be really good and really aware. Just don't touch your face. Don't pick at your face. We're playing the long game. We're building habits. That's part of it, is not picking at your face. When my skin was purging the worst, I wore makeup every day. My doctor told me not to. I didn't care. Personally, it was either listen to my doctor in that state or like my mental health, and I chose my mental health. So, and I don't leave the house too much. I work from home, so it's not like I have to, you know, go and interact with a ton of people. But at the gym, I would wear makeup. It was just concealer and a little powder, but that's what you need to do to like feel okay. Then I mean, I can't recommend anything, but I did it personally. So after my skin was purging, the biggest side effects that I experienced in month 2 were dry eyes, dry nose, and back pain. The back pain was super mild, like a 2 or 3. I lift heavy, and I noticed that I couldn't lift as heavier. I'm not more tired, but I think my eyes are drier, so it makes me feel more tired. I have included, and I'm gonna make another video of a full stretching routine for low back pain. A lot of the pain that you guys are feeling is manageable if you stretch a little bit more. Our muscles are just getting a little bit more fatigued and tighter, so we just have to kind of put in a little bit more energy to stretch. But another good habit that we can form in this Accutane journey. The purge stopped basically the end of month 2. Going into month 3, my eyes got really, really, really bad. Like I had a swollen, puffy eye a few times. I called my derm. She prescribed me this ointment to go like around my eye because it was so bad. I've kind of stopped wearing mascara completely because I don't want to do anything that's gonna really piss off my eyes. Like they're just really sensitive right now. And the inside of my nose for sure got kind of infected or inflamed or something, but I've been putting Aquaphor on the inside of that. The only thing I've used on my lips so far to this point is Aquaphor. I think if you live in a different climate, I live in Hawaii, so it's kind of different for me because it's a moisture, warmer climate. If you live in the Midwest and it's super cold right now and you're on Accutane, you're probably gonna have a lot more difficult experience. So I would also maybe take that into account. Like if you're planning on going on the summer versus the winter, I'd probably stick to like the summer. I don't know what your guys' temperatures look like on the mainland, but I've heard some pretty crazy shit, so shoot. Can I swear? Let's talk about my hair. So a lot of people were really concerned about hair loss, hair thinning. The first month on Accutane, my hair grew a ton. My eyelashes were the longest they've ever been. I was shocked. I was like, wow, I can have the thickest, nicest eyelashes ever. It kind of went away already. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I definitely still have like some pretty thick lashes, which just weren't there before, and my hair is definitely kind of growing. I will say that during month 2 my hair got kind of gummy. It wasn't that it was thinning out, it's just when it was wet it wasn't very, I just felt like it was like a jello putty type of thing. So I just wash my hair less because you really don't have to wash your hair on Accutane. My hair does not get oily, it doesn't really look bad, doesn't smell bad, and I work out every single day. So it's a 10. Honestly, is one of the best products on the market. This one is a little bit pricier. I think it's like $34 or something for this thing. Worth every penny. I try to go for dupes. I always come back to this one, and that's saying a lot. I will repurchase this to the day I die. I'll get it for my kids. This is a 10 out of 10. This one specifically is the keratin one, and I cannot say enough about this product. You need to get it. I think it'll really help your hair if you have dry hair. It's worth the investment. It lasts a long time. It smells amazing. I love it. I have been using this about the same time that I started Accutane, so I don't know if it's Accutane making my hair grow or if it's the Marc Anthony Grow Long leave-in conditioner. Maybe a little bit of both, I'm not too sure. But I don't know if you guys can see my hair. She's getting pretty long and I use this every day. So I'll go in with this one first and then this one to like really coat it. Next, you have to get your hands on some sort of hair oil. This is my 3rd bottle of the Nexus Repair and Nourish. I love it so very much. I also just got sent these Pacifica drops. These are found at Target. Both of these things you can get at Target. I really like this. I really like the smell of them. And they're a very affordable price. You don't need crazy expensive products. You really don't. You just need products that are good staples that work for you, and just stick with that. Stick with that for 5 months. That's all you need to do. Okay, let's go into supplements. So the only thing that I take is this fish oil. I was really good about taking it for the first like month or 2, and now I'm kind of not as good about taking it, but you need to get some sort of fish oil. This is also from Target. Target, not sponsored, wish it was, but need to get that because the fish oil is going to help with all the dryness and help with the moisture. Apparently, I don't know, that's what the internet told me, so I do it as well. I didn't really experience that much joint pain, a little bit in my knees, but again, I stretch more now and I'm just a little bit more cautious with my body. I've definitely had to slow down my movements and working out. A lot of people ask me if I can still work out, or like how I still work out on Accutane. It really hasn't changed anything for me other than the fact that there are certain days where, you know, I listen to my body and I'm like, okay, you probably shouldn't lift that heavy today because, you know, my back might be flaring up or maybe my knees aren't doing what they're supposed to. But as far as that side effect, I really haven't experienced all that much pain. I'm lucky for that. The side effects vary so much per person, so it's hard to say how intense yours will be. Mine are pretty mild. I think the worst thing is my nose and my eyes. My eyes have gotten really bad, but at the same time, like for my skin to look the way it does, I'll take some dry eyes. I'd say the side effects are very worth it up until this point, and I would keep the side effects if that means no acne. Someone asked how I was feeling in my first month of Accutane. My very first month of Accutane, I was really terrified. Honestly, posting the video of my skin in the first month helped me so much because I just knew that other people went through it and I knew that other people made it out and had clear, gorgeous, glorious skin. So I really was just patient. You know, easier said than done, but I've done it and I know you can too. Going into the mental health aspect of this Accutane journey is honestly the most important part. I'm gonna say that to the end because I have a lot to say. This is my facial moisturizer and face wash that I use, and I've been using it since the start. CeraVe Hydrating Cream to Foam Cleanser and the CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Lotion in SPF 50. Love these, love this brand. I'll probably just continue to use it because why would I change up these products after I'm done with Accutane if I know that they keep my skin clear? I don't know. Continuing on in the lotion, moisture, all that stuff. Lubriderm is one of my favorite brands ever. This one is the Advanced Therapy Intensely Hydrating Extra Dry Skin. This one's really thick, but not as thick as the Vanity Cream. The Vanity Cream is honestly a godsend. If you're super, super dry, go for this one. This is kind of like my day-to-day, everyday usage. I had a lot of questions if I use this on my face. I do. I just use less. A little hack my grandma told me about and how she like didn't have any wrinkles and she was 89, no wrinkles. I was like, Grandma, what's your secret? And she goes, I put Lubriderm on with a wet face. So I won't dry my face all the way. I'll keep it a little bit damp and then just rub this into it. Kind of thins it out and then it keeps like a really nice moisture locked in. So I do that every single night. So as far as what you can and can't do on Accutane, I've made a lot of videos about this, but you can't drink, you can't get tattoos, you can't get ears piercings, any sort of like hyperdermaplane, all those fancy words. Basically just don't alter your body, your skin while you're on the medicine, or your hair. I guess you're not supposed to get your hair dyed, but if you do, just make sure that you do a test strand. Leave your body alone, let it do what it needs to do with this medicine. As far as the piercings and the tattoos, my dermatologist told me that it's because the scarring and your tissue is so thin that it might not heal in the same way. And so if that's a risk that you're willing to take, go for it. But honestly, you can wait 5 months, or you can wait. A typical course of Accutane is 20 weeks, so 5 months. If you need to extend it, your dermatologist will let you know, and that's a conversation that you guys can have. But as far as the normal, actual, what people go on, it's 5 months. 5 months long, which is honestly a long time. I was so scared when she said 5 months. I was like, what? I'm locked in on this for 5 months. But my biggest tip for that is set another goal that you can also achieve at 5 months. So like I have a business goal, I have a body goal, I have other things that I'm also using in alignment with that 5 months, because it is such a great window of time that you can literally change your life. Okay, one of my biggest questions is about makeup. I've been using concealer every day for the past, I don't even know how long. The top 3 concealers that I've used on my Accutane journey in order: the Studio Fix 24-hour Smooth Wear Concealer, the House Labs, and then the NARS Radiant Cream. I started with this one because when my acne was so bad, this is more of like a watery base. It's really thin and I didn't want to put anything thick on it because I didn't want to have to take it off. So this was a really good one. Then I switched to the House Labs, which is chef's freaking kiss. I love the House Labs, but this happened to me twice. The tip came off 2 different times. And then I went back to return it and it happened again. So technically 3 different times. Other than that, amazing concealer. And then right now I'm grabbing the NARS. I would stick with a water-based concealer and make sure that it's gluten-free. I don't know if you guys got gluten allergies out here like your girl, but if you do, just know that a lot of makeup products have gluten in it. So that can also cause acne because your skin is already sensitive to gluten. Didn't know that at all. With that, the brush that I use in every single one of my videos is the Doll 10 Precision Foundation Brush. I don't know if this is still out there. My grandma gave it to me, but any sort of like dense booky brush like this should do the trick. I would definitely recommend using a brush instead of a sponge because the sponge collects more bacteria, and you need to wash your brushes a lot more than normal because if you're touching acne and then putting it away and then touching it again, literally just spreading bacteria. So just make sure that you wash your brushes a little bit more. I do still go in the sun, but I wear sunscreen, I wear a hat, and I wear a cover up. Honestly, guys, it's just not worth it. Just take the medicine seriously, do it for 5 months, protect your body, protect your skin, and then go back to doing whatever you want to do. Like, you are committing to this Accutane thing, and if you want it to work, I'd listen to your doctors, I'd listen to things that you hear, and really just do the things and set up your body for success, because why would you go through all of this stuff? Why would you go through such a challenging time and then make it more challenging by adding like piercings and, you know, frying your hair off and doing all the things that are preventable, or frying your skin? Play it safe while you're on Accutane. Play it safe. That would be my biggest advice. As far as drinking and all of the above, like, you are in this little cocoon of 5 months and you know exactly kind of the process that it's going to go through. You don't know exactly how you're going to react, but you know that there's a start date and an end date. That kind of leads me into my last topic that I really want to talk about and take a second. So the last thing I really want to talk about is the mental health. Obviously, that's a really big part of my platform and just making sure that everyone is okay. Accutane and mental health, there have been, a few cases where it hasn't been great, and some people do really struggle with the mental aspect of being on this medicine. It can cause depression, it can cause anxiety, and those are things that you need to be aware of heading into it. I actually delayed my medication another month because when I was supposed to start Accutane was right around when we thought that my grandma was gonna pass. And so I was so scared that I was gonna be, really mentally drained from losing my best friend, and then also take a medicine that's known to cause depression. And so I waited. That's a very niche thing, but that kind of gives you an idea of how scared I was to take this medicine. Like, I was actually terrified. I had heard my friends say that when they were younger, they tried to hurt themselves and they tried to do things. And first and foremost, I want you to know that if you ever feel like doing anything to yourself, please contact me. Please message me on Instagram, on TikTok, comment on my YouTube. I will respond. I see it. I'll respond to you. I'll always be there. So please, with that, know that I'm here for you. Going into the mental aspect, I kind of see it as you have to really take control of the situation. You know that a lot of these side effects may or may not happen, and I think the more aware of your body that you are, your body and your mind, the better reaction you'll have mentally. I knew it was a possibility for my skin to purge. I didn't know it was gonna be that bad, but I knew it was a possibility. And so when it did happen, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is the end all be all. It might happen. It might happen. Know it, own it. When you show up to school and you have really bad skin that day, own it. You don't have to scream it from the rooftops, but maybe be extra nice that day to people, just do something else to distract you from the fact that your skin isn't awesome. Because at the end of the day, our skin is just such an outside thing, but again, easier said than done. And I've been there and I'm right there with you. Right now, my skin looks dandy. But growing up in high school, knowing that I was the only person with acne, it's like you see it more. When you have acne, you see other people with clear skin more often. It's like, I don't know what it is. Your mind just keeps... I remember walking around high school and I would just look out. I would try to find other people with acne. I felt so alone. I felt so like, what the freak is wrong with me? Why do I have this and everybody else doesn't? The thing is so many other people do. And even if they're not in your direct circle, there's so many people out there who are struggling just like you, and we're all in this together. At the end of the day, I really do believe that having acne when you're young makes you a better person because it makes you kinder, it makes you more patient, it makes you more understanding. You get beat down at such an early age that you have no choice but to grow. You have no choice but to blossom into this person who knows that there's more underneath the surface than just a pretty face. We're all beautiful, so a pretty face. My biggest tip for this mental health journey and Accutane is learn a new skill. Learn something that's gonna really ignite your confidence in yourself. For me, that was getting my cognitive fitness certification, that was starting my business, that was finally posting on TikTok, my real skin. There's all these things that I was doing to make sure that I was validating myself and who I am rather than validating, what I saw in the mirror, because I was not getting that self-validation from myself. If you're experiencing a lot of sadness on Accutane, instead of focusing on that sadness, when you feel that emotion, just know it's not you, it's just an emotion that you're feeling. It's not something that's ingrained in your brain. You're not a sad person, you're just having a sad feeling. Focus on one thing that you're thankful for in that moment. If you can identify sadness, then you can also identify something to be thankful for. That'll start forming those neural connections that you're thankful, and you're thankful that you even get this medicine. Honestly, a lot of people can't even get their hands on this medicine, and so for it to be something that you are sad about, try to just reframe that thinking a little bit. I think it's also really important in a time like this to surround yourself with people that you trust and that, really do want to see the best in you, because you might get super ugly first before you get really cute, but you need friends to support you and, tell you the things you do and don't want to hear. And so take a reality check around your circle and just really take this time, take the 5 months for you. Treat it as your glow up period. Treat it as the time that you're going to be selfish with your time and your energy, because maybe you don't have enough energy that day. Blame it on the Accutane. I blame everything on the Accutane. I gotta go home. I don't want to go out. I'm too tired. It's really a nice little window of your life that you'll always be able to look back on it and you You can either say, hey, I was super depressed and I didn't do anything and I did that and did that, maybe. Or you could say, you know, I was on Accutane and I really treated it as my growth period. This was the 5 months, 6 months that I really just took a look at myself and what I was doing, and every day when I took that medicine, knowing that I was going somewhere, that I was going in the direction I wanted to go, I was also pairing that with actions that made my life better. Going into Accutane, I really did kind of lay out a calendar schedule of like where I wanted to be by the time my Accutane was done. I know exactly what metrics I want to hit. I know, you know, where I want to be in my business. I know where I want to be in my media. Just there's different things that I kind of set as little benchmarks that as I was going through Accutane, I could kind of look forward to and gear up towards. So if you're looking for something, for a way to kind of fixate on something else and help with your mental health, get excited about something. Use this 5 months, like do something that you've always wanted to do. Try to figure out whatever that is. Read a book. I don't know. Give yourself another thing to do and another thing to fixate on instead of your skin and how it looks every day and what's changing. Because the good thing about Accutane is there's a start and an end. And there's people that have been on it for years and years. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who normally have, this is your medicine, you're gonna take it, and here you go. So far in my Accutane journey, I really wouldn't change a thing. Looking back on my Accutane journey so far, I really wouldn't change a thing. I think the biggest thing I would change is just having more kind of knowledge before I went in. But that's exactly why I'm making this video for you guys, because I didn't see anything like this and I really wanted like a step-by-step what to expect. So I hope that this video provided you a little bit more comfort. Again, if you guys are struggling mentally ever, please reach out. I'm a person over here. I'm a real person and I would really love to help you guys emotionally, mentally, physically. Everyone just hold on, be nice to people, be kind. Everyone's going through something so hard in their life that they choose not to talk about. People remember your beauty on the inside and how you make them feel, not the way that you look. Looks is just an added thing. You're gonna get through this. You got this. I promise you, you got this. If you like this video, please make sure to comment and subscribe and like it. Send to someone who's about to take their Accutane journey. And as always, I love you guys so much and I'll see you soon.